Today we're going to come from the book of Mark, chapter 14, verses 66 through 72. It's a very familiar passage that some folk know about, or most folk know about. When you have it, please say amen. All right, don't lose your energy today. Y'all been good all service, amen. Because God is in this place and we don't want to usher him out. Amen. Verse 66 says, reading from the English Standard Version, might read a little differently from yours, but it says, "And as Peter was below in the courtyard, one of the servant girls of the high priest came, and seeing Peter warming himself, she looked at him and said, 'You also were with the Nazarene Jesus.' But he denied it, saying, 'I neither know nor understand what you mean.' And he went out into the gateway, and the rooster crowed. And the servant girl saw him and began again to say to the bystanders, 'This man is one of them.' But again he denied it, and after a little while the bystanders again said to Peter, 'Certainly you are one of them, for you are a Galilean.' But he began to invoke a curse on himself and to swear, 'I do not know this man of whom you speak.' And immediately the rooster crowed a second time. And Peter remembered how Jesus had said to him, 'Before the rooster crows twice, you will deny me 3 times.' And he broke down and wept." I want to talk about briefly this morning from the subject, come in off of the porch. Amen. Come in off of the porch. Amen. Prior to this text, Jesus had a meeting or a dinner with his disciples. And in that meeting, he predicted his own death. And he said to the disciples, "One of you is going to deny me 3 times. And he said, "Before the cock crows twice, one of you is going to deny me 3 times. And of course, Peter said, "Not me, Lord. I love you too much to deny you, and I'm not going to be the one to do that." But here we are in the courtyard. And Peter has denied Jesus 3 times, and the cock has crowed twice. I'm going to ask somebody in this church this morning, don't get stuck out on the porch because you're ashamed of your relationship with God. Here we find that Jesus is about to be on trial. He's been brought before the high priest and the Sanhedrin council. Now keep in mind, this is what we call an illegal trial. Why is this an illegal trial? Because it was illegal at that time to try a man at night. But yet they tried him at night in order to get Jesus on the cross the next morning. They tried him. This was considered to be one of the greatest trials in history. Now some of us are old enough to know about the OJ trial. Some say he did it. Some say he didn't. But then there have been other trials that have come across our way as we have gone on in our lives since the OJ trial that we can consider great trials in this country. We have seen trials for about young men who have killed other men in this country. We have seen trials where white men have killed black men and walked away without a sentence. We have seen recently where a black young man killed a white man, young boy, but he was sentenced to 35 years. Unfortunately, you can't get away with murder, but 35 years is a long time, especially when they say you were defending yourself. Here in this different type of court, we are in a court where Jesus is brought before the Sanhedrin council. And in this court, we are putting a man who was innocent on trial for the guilty. Yes, we are. Jesus' life is here. He's an innocent man who's done no wrong, but yet he's on trial to save all of us who are guilty. He knew no sin, but he took the place of all of us who are sitting in sin. He took the defense seat for us in this trial. They looked for witnesses against Jesus, but they couldn't find one. Those that came made false statements about Jesus. None of their statements were in agreement. None of them came together to even say that Jesus was what they said he was. None of their statements agreed. Several discrepancies were found in their witness statements. They couldn't verify any of the charges against Jesus. They even had Pilate saying he couldn't find fault in this man. But the council was determined to find a way to put Jesus on the cross. Using my imagination, I can see that when the time came for the defense to put on their case, and the defense attorney came and he stood before the council ready to call his witnesses. And it's a shame that when the defense came to call his witnesses, no one was there for Jesus to stand on his behalf. Just like today, it's hard to find those that will testify for Jesus. Your friends come along, or when you're in your office or when you're at work and they start talking about Jesus, you clam up and go over to the side and you act like you don't even know who he is. We want to keep God confined to a Sunday morning service. We only want to talk about Jesus between the four walls of the sanctuary. We don't want to go out and tell the world about Jesus. We might call on him during sickness or during a funeral, but we don't seem to have time for him in our workplace. On the job, we don't want to offend anyone. You see, they are separating church from state and from city and from the schools, but we don't want to talk about Jesus where we really need to be talking about Jesus. They're taking prayer out of the schools, and because they're taking prayer out of the schools, look at what the schools have become. When you put prayer back in the schools, maybe our children will be better, and maybe they will change their ways. On the job, we don't want to offend anyone. We keep our gospel music turned down to a low volume. But we'll tell or listen to a dirty joke in a second. Somebody got a dirty joke, you'll come running to the water cooler to find out what they're talking about. We won't let anyone know that we know who Jesus is. We're very secretive about our relationship with Jesus. Matter of fact, when we go eat lunch, whether we're at the lunchroom or the dining facility or we're at a restaurant, we put our food in front of us, and we take our prayer, we say it really, really fast. Lord, bless this food. Thank you very much. Amen. We don't take time to give God truly thanksgiving for what he's done for us. Yes, we rush through our prayer to give thanks for our dinner. We rush through our prayer when it comes to our prayer time at night. We don't even want to kneel down and give God praise anymore. But my Bible says that if you're ashamed of me among men, I'll be ashamed of you before my Father. I'm thankful for this food. That's what you ought to say. You ought to just take your time and sit down and say, Lord, I'm thankful for this food. He gave me strength to eat. Lord, I thank you for my meal because it was you that put the food on the table. Let him know that nothing can stop me from giving him thanks for this food. But here we are again. The defense counsel needed some witnesses for Jesus. Again, I'm using my imagination. I see Jesus is sitting behind the defense table. And the lawyer steps forward and he's looking for witnesses for Jesus. I can see the courtroom waiting on Jesus' witnesses, but no one comes forward. Surely somebody can testify for Jesus. The woman at the well, she should have been there. He gave her water that changed her life. Surely at least one of the 10 lepers should have been there, because the Bible says that they were healed on their way. Surely at least 9 or 10 of the 5,000 souls that he fed could have been there. They could have come and testified for Jesus. Yes, but no one came to testify for Jesus. Peter could have come in off of the porch to testify, because Jesus healed his mother-in-law. Peter could have came in off the porch because Jesus even took him to the Mount of Transfiguration. Peter could have come in off of the porch and came in and testified for Jesus, because that same Peter that Jesus took with him to pray was just simply standing out on the porch. All of this to say that we have to come in off the porch to testify for Jesus. But here, while Peter is standing out in the courtyard, we see this young maid coming up to him and says, "You are one of them." And you know, that's odd, because she only looked at Peter. She just looked at him and said, "You are one of them." He never opened his mouth. He never said a word. She just looked at him and knew that he was one of them. Can your friends walk up to you and just look at you and know that you are one of them? Can people just come up to you and look at you and just know that you are one of them? Can any of your friends, any of your co-workers just walk up to you and say, "You must be one of them"? And here Peter was, without even being a word said, she said, "You are one of them." And here Peter is, because he's afraid for his own life, he just says, "I don't know him. Quit talking to me. I don't know that man. I don't know what you're talking about." But here she is. She comes back and she says, "No, you look like one of them." And he says, again, lady, move on. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know him." But then the cock crowed. And she came back again and she said, No, man. You one of them. And the thing about it is, he was warming himself by their fire. He was mingled in with them. But she said, "You must be one of them." And he said, "Now look here. I done told you twice. I don't know who you talking about." And he even threw in a few choice words. It said he cursed and he swore. "Look at here, woman. I'm not going to go there today, but I'm sure you can use your imagination and know what he might have said. I don't know him. I don't know who he is. Stop asking me." And before you knew it, the cock had crowed a second time. And Peter remembered what Jesus had said. He said, "Look at here, before the cock crows twice, you going to deny me 3 times. Yeah, so many people don't come to church anymore because they're sick, or some woulda, coulda. Every Sunday it's the same thing, but some just don't want to get out of the bed. But I find it strange that we can't get out of the bed to come to church. But oh, how easy it is to get out of the bed to go to work. Huh? Oh, I don't mean to step on any toes, but when it comes to Jesus, can I step on a few toes this morning? When it comes to Jesus, some people say, I just don't go to church because all they want is your money. Every time you turn around, they're asking for your money. But where on earth, on this planet, in this city, in this state, in this country, can you go and they don't ask you for $1? You can go to a movie, pay $15 to see a 2-hour movie. You can go to dinner, spend $150 on a meal. You can go down and spend $75 or $50 on a tank of gas. But when it comes to the church house, it's always they want my money. Where can you go that people can't use your money? And last time I checked, it costs money to turn these lights on. The last time I checked, it costs money. Leave that alone. Amen. Amen. There. Let's go back to Peter. Peter stood on the porch because he had a distant discipleship from Jesus. Yes, he followed Jesus, but he followed Jesus from a distance. He didn't want to walk too close for people to think he was a holy roly. Yes, Peter, he worshiped from a distance. Peter was on the porch with them, and it says that he warmed himself by their fire. And that's some of our problem. You see, we want to warm ourselves by their fire. We oftentimes come in and we find ourselves that the grass looks greener on the other side. And I want to go over there and get warmed by their fire because their fire looks just a little bit stronger than my fire. I want to go warm myself to their fire, but the thing is, you better be careful warming yourself by their fire. Because it says, I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, my mama told me that birds of a feather flocked. Oh, y'all know my mama? Yes, she said birds of a feather flock together. So if you hang around them birds too long, you might start flying like they fly. You might start walking around like they walk. You might start doing the things that they do. But you got to understand that you can't always hang around and warm yourself by their fire. And then here we see Peter had a denying discipleship. Yes, Peter was hanging around on the porch and he kept on denying Jesus. Yes, Jesus had even been nice to Peter. Yes, Peter, he was one of Jesus' big three. You see, in basketball, anybody like basketball? In basketball, every team, they try to get a big three. You know, when the Mavericks won, they had Dirk, Jason Terry, and they had Jason Kidd when they were the big three. But here we have the big three. Jesus had Peter, he had James, and he had John. Everywhere he went, he took his big three. When he went to the Garden of Gethsemane, he took his big three. When he went to the Mountain of Transfiguration, he took his big three. Jesus took his big three everywhere that he went. But yet, Peter still denied Jesus. What has God done for you that all of a sudden all you can do is just deny him? Although he's blessed you, he's given you everything that you need, we keep on denying Jesus. And then lastly, I see that Peter was a disappointed disciple. Peter went to see the end. He thought that this was the end of Jesus. His faith wasn't strong enough to go all the way to the cross. Peter never made it to the cross. In fact, if you read the Bible, it said that Peter, he went fishing. Peter thought that it was all over for Jesus. So Peter, we just want you to come in off of the porch. no matter what happens, you have to learn to follow Jesus. If you're not careful, you'll become a part of the porch servants. You can't follow the Lord because you have a spirit of disappointment. Yes, you don't seem to follow God because you're standing in the danger zone. Yes, you can't follow Jesus because you are following him too far in a distance. Yes, if you keep on following Jesus that far, you'll become discouraged. Yes, you'll soon lose interest in who God really is. No matter what happens, you have to learn to tell the Lord, Lord, I'm with you. Lord, I'm going to go with you all of the way. Don't worry about what your friends tell you. You got to learn that God he's a friend in a time of sorrow. You have to learn that my God is a friend and when I'm friendless. And every time that I feel like I'm in the courtroom, my Jesus is there as a lawyer for my case. I don't know about you, but every time I feel the Spirit, I just want to jump up and down for Jesus, because I found that my God is like so many things that are on this earth. My God is like Bear Aspirin. He works miracles. My God is just like Ford. He had a great idea. My God is just like Coca-Cola. He's the real thing. My God is just like Hallmark cards. He cared enough to send his very best. My God is just like Tide. He gets the stains out. My God is just like General Electric. He brings good things to life. My God is just like Sears. Y'all remember Sears, don't you? It said he has everything that you need. My God is just like Alka-Seltzer. Try him and you'll like him. My God is just like Scotch tape. You can't see him, but you know that he's there. My God is just like Delta Airlines. He's ready when you are. My God is just like Allstate. You're in good hands with my God. My God is just like Dial soap. Aren't you glad that you got him? And don't you wish that everybody did? My God is just like Maxwell House coffee. He's good to the last drop. My God is just like the U.S. Postal Service. He's good in rain. He's good in snow. He's good in sleep. He's good every day of my life. And the best thing about my God is just like Campbell's soup. He's good. Hey, ain't he all right this morning? I don't know about you, but I'm coming in off of the porch. You come on in off of the porch. You might say, I'm standing on the porch because I'm just not ready yet. You're just not ready yet. That's why God has everything that you need. And I might be standing on the porch. So if you should see me standing on the porch and you see me doing something that I should not be doing, don't you laugh at me. Don't criticize me. Just pray for me, because my God is not through with me yet. My God is not through with me yet. Come on in off of the porch. Come in off of the porch. Don't deny Jesus, because Jesus is a true and living God. Come on in off of the porch.